There's no easy way to start this one, so I'm just going to cut right to it. Grief in kids looks different. Hi, my name is Stephanie Korpal, and I am the founder and CEO of Marble Wellness, which is a mental health therapy practice in the Ballwin area of St. Louis, Missouri. Today, I just want to spend a couple minutes talking to you about grief and its impact on children, and obviously then its trickle-down effect on families, and just give you some insight about what to be looking for if you have a child in your life who has been impacted by a grief event recently. You know, as adults, we have a lot easier of a time, if not necessarily talking about grief, at least identifying that we're grieving. And I think it's pretty easy as an adult to even say, like, we're not even that good at it, or you can identify a peer who's not that good of it. So if you really think about kids, they have a much harder time even identifying what grief is and figuring out how to deal with it. Their language skills are different. They don't have the nuance of emotional vocabulary, and they don't always know what to do with big emotions, even if it's a more pleasant, more positive big emotion like excitement. I mean, think about all the kids' antics when they're excited about something. You're like, that's how this is coming out. So then think about it with something heavy, something hard, something new, and maybe even something scary like grief. So when kids are experiencing grief, there could be a wide range of emotions. And certainly this changes depending on their developmental age and stage. But for little guys, I don't even really want to give that an age. But this is going to be something that might overwhelm their system. And with that overwhelm, they may avoid and just not want to talk about it all, pretend that it never happened, and kind of like go on with life. That's not abnormal. You may have another child who really ramps up their attachment to you or another caregiver, or maybe to a comfort item at home. You may see other kids who just really struggle with not being sad. So they're sad all the time. Everything is now related to death or the fear of death. You may see kids start to act out, they're angry or they pick up some negative behaviors at school. You may be getting more phone calls from the teacher or more emails about concerns the teacher is having or behaviors they are seeing. All of that is normal because this is usually children's first time, or even if it's not their first time with grief, they may have experienced grief at 5 or 6, and then experiencing that at 8 or 9 is still different because they're still so new to it. So I just want to assure you as parents that the wide range of behaviors and reactions is not abnormal, but it can also be a lot for you to figure out how to interact with your child if they are grieving, because the likelihood is if your child is grieving, you're grieving too. And depending on who the grief event is for, the person in your life who died, it could be really hard for you to intervene with your child on behalf of your child. If it was your parent that you were close to, if it was your sibling, your child's aunt or uncle, it's going to be a rough couple of weeks. That's okay. I want to talk to you about what we can do to help. We do have a couple child therapists on our team. We also have wonderful grief therapists for adults on our team. But here's what therapy for kids who are grieving can do. First of all, it can give them a very safe space to be able to express their emotions. Now, I'm not saying you're not doing that at home. I'm not saying that they're not getting that at school, but it's one more place that they can be able to express those really heavy, really confusing feelings. The other benefit of therapy for kids who are grieving, and I hope parents can hear this okay, is that kids can grieve in the room with someone who isn't grieving. So they might feel a little bit more permission and freedom. Your child's attached to you and they're going to be looking out for you. And that doesn't mean you're doing a bad job as a parent at all. It means that there's probably some healthy attachment going on, but they deserve their own space to be able to explore it or ask questions. Have even somebody else just explain the same things that you're explaining in different words. We're also going to use a lot of play therapy techniques, such as stuffed animals, doll houses, coloring, to allow them to express some things that might be stuck in their brains and bodies. Play is the language of children, so we're just going to give them a ton of that opportunity. we may also give them the opportunity to not talk about it. You know, for adults, it can be really hard. We want to make sure that we're giving kids the space, we're prompting them with the right questions to be able to ask the things that are on their mind. And sometimes what a kiddo need is room to not talk about it. But again, they might be looking out for you, or they just need to hear from somebody else. Like, how about we just take a break today? And that's okay. Another thing that a grief therapist for children is going to be able to do is give you, as the parent, as the guardian, some wonderful techniques to use at home and some things to keep on your radar that you can look out for. So if it is a first anniversary even of a death coming up, or if not the first anniversary, if it hasn't been that long, if it's the first round of holidays, or a first birthday of the person who died, or your birthday without the person, the loved one who died. Those can be a lot of things to have to consider as a parent, again, especially if you're grieving too. And so the therapist is going to be on your team with giving you, again, those things to look out for and consider so you're not taken out by surprise of them. Not only will they bring things to your attention, they'll give you tools. So memory making activities, ways that the family can maintain traditions or come up with new traditions, but you won't have to do all the thinking because you're tired too. You're tired as a parent, you're tired as a person on this earth right now, but you're also wiped out from the grief. The grief is heavy, it is a physical burden, and it drains us all of so much energy. So those are just a few things I wanted to pop in and give you some insight on. Again, grieving children is such a hard topic. It's a delicate topic, but it's one that we do really well at Marble Wellness. I want to invite you to consider therapy for grief, especially for children, because again, grief can look just so different for them, and you deserve, and your child deserves to have somebody on your team to help through this difficult time. Please feel free to reach out to us if you want to get started, or even if you just have other questions you want to ask. We can help you with other resources, give you some blogs we've written. We're just happy to share anything we have. We can be found at www.marblewellness.com, or if you want to bypass that and give us a call directly right now, we can be reached at 636-234-3052. Thank you so much. Have a great day and take care of yourself.